welcome back to Conversations with Errstories. And I am very excited to bring to you today our very special guest, no other than Miss Amy Ripley, a self-published author based in UK. She
Hi.
enjoys the idea of sharing her voice and stories to others. And her first story is called The Train. It's a post-apocalyptic type fictional book, which is the first book of a trilogy. There. Hello, Amy. How are you doing today?
Hi, yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Really good. It's the weather's not so great here, but everything else seems to be perfectly fine.
Okay, thank you for taking time to be in this interview and to be sharing your life with us and the viewers.
Awesome.
Okay, so we'll be starting off, Amy. First things first, what inspired you to write?
So ever since I was in like secondary school, I used to always be the one that would enjoy English literature and language. It would be the one subject at school I always really enjoyed doing. But along with that, I kind of got sidetracked with my other hobbies, and I didn't really pick back up from that sort of hobby and the inspiration from then until a couple of months ago. It had been put off quite a lot because I wanted to study animals, and nothing really came from that. So then I thought back to what I really did enjoy doing, and decided to do this alongside my normal part-time job, because I've got two children. So it's nice just to have something that I enjoy doing alongside my normal life. Just brings that little bit more, um, just a little bit more excitement to it, I think.
Oh, wow. So you're working part-time, you're a mom of two kids, and at the same time
Yeah.
you're writing as well. Okay,
Yeah.
when did you feel that, I think I just have to write? Because from
I think
literature class and then now.
Yeah, I think what it was one night, it sounds really peculiar, but I had a really weird nightmare. And it kind of was something that I thought, this actually could make a really good book. And then I thought, you
Mhm.
know what, I really should try and get back on with, being into English literature again and just get into it. And as soon as I started writing it, and the more I kind of, got into it, I just thought, I really do enjoy this. And I thought, yeah, I'll definitely continue doing it because it was just so fun. And I just thought it's definitely something I wanted to keep doing.
Okay. Alongside that, are there challenges that you've experienced as a writer, and how did you overcome them?
I think one of the main things was just to get my name out there. It's probably one of the main things that I've heard other self-published writers have also said as well, that it's quite difficult to be able to get your name out there, whether it be on social media, whether it be, when you're selling your books and everything like that. It seems to be something that everyone hits a bit of a rough end with. So I think that's one of the most difficult things. But when I've been on certain groups on Facebook, on Instagram, certain things that have given me kind of the ideas to keep pushing on with it. And, certain groups on Facebook will give me certain support. So one of them is the self-publishing page, which I actually met yourself on. And that definitely helped with, like the marketing side, the writing side, all these different tips. And if anyone else out there is actually looking to do, writing in the future, I would definitely recommend getting on some groups on Facebook because that's definitely what helped me.
Yeah, I agree with you, Amy. And it's good that like writers, for those who would like to write, like what Amy said, there's a lot of support groups online, so you don't have to be afraid, right, Amy, to start this
No,
journey.
no.
Yeah, especially if it's in your heart. Eventually it will come to life. Okay, tell us more about your book, because you said it was a dream. And then after that,
Yes.
what happened? What is it all about?
So I've got the book here. It's The
Oh,
Train. So that's the book. It's roughly 230 pages long. And what it is to do with is, without giving too much away, a family are basically taken from their home in the UK, but they don't know what the reason behind it is for. So what they do is they get kind of pushed onto this bus that then takes them to a train, and then they then go off for hours and not realize where they're going. And then
Mhm.
what happens next is they start to feel like something just isn't right. Something seems wrong with what's going on. And then what happens is they then realize that definitely the people who had moved them in there in the first place had got ulterior motives for doing it. And that's kind of where it kind of goes more interesting. And you get all of the characters start to kind of get together and then try and rebel against this group that are in charge at the moment. And that's kind of what I can say without giving too much away.
Okay, I think our audience is kind of excited with that. The setting is in a train, and maybe a lot of people could relate because more or less, once upon our lifetime, we were able to ride the train.
Yeah,
Okay, what's your future plan? Because you said it's one of the trilogy, and
yeah.
what's your future plan about your books?
So after this one, there is two others in the trilogy. So the second book's called The Train Below, Bunkers Below, and then the last one's The Train End of the Line. Both of those I have wrote and I've edited. I'm just getting a few finalized together, and then I'm gonna then put it on Amazon KPD with my other book that I've just brought out. And they all roll on from each other. So once you've read the first one, it will then roll straight into the second, and then the second will roll straight into the third. And I quite like the idea that they're all, just follow on from each other, because then there's no kind of breaks. And I quite like that idea. So I thought I'll just go with that.
Okay. How did you end up with like a trilogy? Is it when you started writing the first book, you already know that it will be a trilogy, or along the way as you were writing and then ideas keep coming in?
Yeah, because that's the
Or
really weird thing for me is that when I sit down sometimes, even if I've not got a pen and paper in front of me, the ideas will just like come like that. And then you kind of think, oh, wait, actually, I should write that down because that might be important, later on in the story. But yeah, going back to your question, it was more of a case of as I was writing it, the first one, I
mm,
thought, it's going to be far too long to be just one book on its own. It's going to be this thick in pages. So I thought, no, I'll make it into three stories. The first one is kind of like the main basis of the story. The second one is how do I say it without giving it away? They then get into get into another place, and then the last one, I'll let you all think about what that could be. But yeah, it's three different books, but in the same storyline.
okay. That's good to know, and I think that excites our viewers to keep following you, right? Eventually. What are some of your writing tips or anything that you wish to share to our viewers who would like to write as well?
I would definitely say if you have an idea or there's just something that comes to mind, go with it. Honestly, if you feel like, it may sound silly, it may sound too serious, it doesn't particularly matter. As long as you have that passion and drive behind what you're wanting to put across, then definitely go for it. Because if you don't go for it, you never know what it's going to become. I mean, mine was like I say, mine was just a nightmare that I've just turned into a book. And honestly, I'm so glad that I did it. So the main thing I would probably say is if you have some sort of idea or maybe you're passionate about some sort of hobby or maybe it's something that maybe reflects your life or something you've managed to accomplish, I would definitely get it into paper if that is something that you are really ambitious about.
Wow.
Definitely.
That's very inspiring because I think that's one of the things that some people would really battle about is they have an
Yeah.
idea, but it takes time for them, self-doubts and all that.
Yeah, no, I know a few friends who had also done that. They'd been like, I don't really know how to start
Mhm.
it or how to get there. But I always, from my 3 books that I've done, I just kind of started with, like your basic spider diagram, jot the ideas, brainstorm it, and then before you know it, things just fall into place, and then you get that story that you were definitely wanting to achieve.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, interesting. She has given us guys some tips, story web, brainstorming. Do you do an outline as well, Amy, of your story?
Yeah,
Or it comes, okay, there's also an outline. Yeah, because some writers, they just keep writing and then without an outline. So sometimes they get lost along the way as they write.
it's
I'm guilty.
definitely easy to get lost.
Okay. But yeah, I'm happy that you get to have an outline because at least you're more guided, right, on what to write.
100%,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. I'm just curious, Amy. Now that with the advent of AI, a lot of writers, are saying maybe this is the end of our career or our journey. But some are saying AI is of big help. No, I just wanna know what is their stand about it.
I mean, with being the first few books I've done, I don't know too much in depth about the AI, but what I would imagine is AI can't have their personal feelings, their emotions, their experiences. So I think in the long term, I don't think it'll be a massive issue in terms of, I know people get worried about ideas being stolen and maybe their books might be similar, but at the end of the day, we're human beings. We've got all of these ideas, creativities, we have a
Mhm.
working brain, we've got a lot more ideas than what a computer could produce. So I would definitely, I mean, I don't think it'll cause too much of an issue. As long as you put your feeling, your thoughts, your emotions into it, I can definitely feel like that wouldn't be an issue at all.
Yeah. Wow, very well said, Amy. I like what you said that there's emotion to it if it's written by a human. Right?
Exactly, exactly.
Right? And maybe we make use of it to our advantage and not really be afraid of the AI. Before we end, Amy, how will our viewers catch your book and everything about you?
So basically, my book is on Amazon KPD, Under the Train by Amy Ripley. My other 2 books will be on there. I'm hoping to get my second one out by December, and
Wow.
then the third one in the new year. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get it done. I mean, like you say, with being a mum, it can be quite challenging to do that, but I'm hoping that I can definitely get on board with it. I mean, my husband is an absolute godsend. Like he's been able to, help look after the girls when I'm wanting to do a little bit of writing. And it's always about give and take because, in a relationship and in a marriage. And I feel like we've managed to do that to an extent where I can have the time to do my books and to then promote it as well. But yeah, I also have a Facebook page, which is The Train by Amy Ripley. And I have an Instagram, which is author underscore Amy underscore Ripley as well, if you want to follow future updates and everything like that.
Wow. Okay. So you can catch Amy via Amazon, her Facebook page, and also her Instagram, which we will be posting on our description later in our page as well. Any other message that you wish to share, Amy, before we end our interview?
I think the main thing is, I think if you have an idea, run with it because if you don't, you will definitely regret it because you just want to, express your voice. A lot of people find that the best way to express their emotions and voice is to jot it down on paper. And I agree with that myself. Like I say, thoughts just ping to you from time to time, your emotions, even like a diary, even if you have anything that you want to just express, sometimes it's a way to process your emotions. And for
Mhm.
other people, it might be a way to get rid of built up anger. Depends on how you're feeling and how you maybe you are at the time. But I would definitely say if you have an idea, run with it. And I hope that everyone is going to have a lovely end to the year and that the new year brings you all such lovely happiness.
Wow, I'm so happy with what you said. And so you are so forward looking. I mean, it's only like September going October now, but you're like saying, okay, look forward to a new year that's coming soon, right?
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Amy. And like what Amy said, my dear viewers, I hope you get time to write because as she said, it can also be a form of therapy. So even if you don't like release it out there and publish it, but as long as you are able to express yourself through writing, it can also be a comforting activity, right? Okay.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Amy, for your time. And I know
Thank you
you're
for
very
having me.
I'm very grateful that you have taken time. And thank you also to our viewers. Until our next conversations with ERR Stories, this has been ERR Stories and with me, Amy. And we wish you a happy new year ahead. Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Bye, Amy.
Bye.
Bye. God bless.